What's happening, everybody? It's Sean here, and I am back today to give you a review of the Air Jordan 4 Retro in this Cavestone colorway. This is a brand new colorway of the beloved Air Jordan 4 silhouette. They released worldwide on September 6th for $220 US or $280 here in Canada. The official colorway for this shoe is Cavestone, Black, and Phantom. And these were available at most Air Jordan retailers, including the Closet Inc. here in Canada. The Closet Inc. is an independently owned and operated boutique. They're based right here in Southern Ontario in Canada, and they're my go-to shop when it comes to Nike retros and Jordan releases. So these, I believe, are still available at most retailers, especially online. Maybe only a few sizes have sold out, but for the most part, these seem to be sitting, which is a good thing to hear for those that are looking for a very wearable Air Jordan 4 for the upcoming fall season. So at the heart of it, this is a very simple take on the Air Jordan 4, but the colors of the shoe are a very distinct departure from your classic Jordan 4 colors like the Bread 4s, the Militaries, or the Fire Reds. This shoe screams outdoors, it screams nature, it screams fall. So depending on whether you vibe with that sort of palette, this could be a shoe that you either love or one that you hate. First things first though, here's a quick look at the box. So this comes in a custom box just for this colorway, but it follows the same design as your normal Jordan 4 box with Jumpman Flight branding on the top lid. As you can see though, the box itself has this very earthy, natural look and color, and has a bit of a rough texture to it to the touch. So as far as the shoe goes, the majority of the upper is crafted out of a very soft and buttery, brown toned colored suede. So the quality of the suede I felt was pretty solid. It's not incredible, but I felt like it was definitely above average. So you can see we have another overlay of suede covering the front toe cap, but one thing I noticed was that the shape of the toe box, at least for my pair, it seemed a little bit chunkier than I would have liked. For the bottom three eyelets, we have your standard TPU lace crown. This is done in more of a darker shade of brown. Next to this, we have that signature Jordan 4 netting, which is done in that same shade of dark brown. And then on the top three eyelets, we have another lace crown, and it's attached to that side flap or wing. And this is crafted out of TPU in a lighter shade of brown. Underneath this, we have more of that suede, which covers the heel of the shoe. And then as usual, we have this lace tab. This is done in a bit of a translucent finish, and we have Nike Air branding in this dark brown color. And then as far as the laces go, this pair only comes with one lace option, at least for my pair. If you pick these up and they came with extra laces, I guess my pair was just missing it. But in my case, the only laces they came with were a flat style lace done in this light brown shade. Underneath this, the tongue is covered in netting on the bottom half, whereas the top half is crafted out of suede, and we have this patch with Jumpman Flight branding. On the back of the tongue, we have this darker colored liner, and we have this upside down tag with Air Jordan branding. And then we have that same colored liner covering the remainder of the interior of the shoe. And this pair felt pretty well padded, like your typical Jordan 4. It had this pretty solid, beefy feel to it, which feels quite comfortable around your feet. And then for the insoles, these come with a polyurethane lined foam insole. It's covered in this brown finish on top, and we have Nike Air branding pressed onto the heel. So the upper of the shoe sits atop this polyurethane foam midsole, which is painted in black on the forefoot and the upper half of the heel, and white on the bottom. Encased within this midsole, we have Nike Air both underneath the forefoot, which of course is not visible, but it is visible via this cutaway on the heel, exposing the Air unit. And then for the bottom of the shoe, this is crafted in 3 tones of rubber. We have this darker tone on the forefoot and heel, white in the middle, and more of a translucent rubber along the upper half. All throughout, we have this herringbone style traction pattern, and we have Nike branding visible right in the center. So that breaks down the look and the construction of this shoe. And for those wondering about how these fit, so I got these in my true size, which is a size 10. They fit me very comfortably. I know sometimes Jordan 4s can be more on the snug side. I kind of teeter between a size 10 or a 10.5, depending on the specific release. But for this shoe, going true to size fit me no problems. I didn't feel any pressure points around the pinky toes, and they felt very comfortably, all things considered. So if you're kind of in between sizes, I'd say that you can go with your true size for this shoe. Unless you have like a really wide foot and you always go up half a size for Jordan 4s, then in that case, I'd stick with that same half size up in the case that you're consistently half size up for every single Jordan 4. Next up, in terms of the comfort, so unfortunately these feel like any other Jordan 4, which I have to say is not the most comfortable shoe even for casual use. Jordan 4s, I don't know, there's just something about them. Maybe they just don't jive with my feet. They're just not the most compatible, but the underfoot feeling is not the best. Yes, you can feel a little bit of that squishiness from the polyurethane insole, but I think the Jordan 3 and the 5, interestingly enough, are just more comfortable for me than the 4. But if you're rocking these just for style and you're not expecting a shoe that's extremely comfortable, I think they'll be perfectly fine for you. Just don't rock the shoe if you're gonna be rocking 25,000 steps in a day. I'd recommend something that's more breathable, more lightweight, and just more comfortable all around. Finally, in terms of the quality and craftsmanship, so first off, the material quality I thought was pretty decent. Like I mentioned, this suede, it wasn't amazing, but I felt like it was a pretty solid cut of suede. The overall build of the shoe I thought was pretty flawless in terms of the stitching, the panels being symmetrical, free of glue stains, and the paint job I thought was good as well. But I noticed that the shape of the toe box felt a little bit bulbous, and the overall shape of the silhouette, it just felt a little bit off. I don't know, let me know if you guys agree. If you take a look at the shoe, just look at the silhouette. Does it seem a little bit extra chunky for some reason? I don't know, there's just something about how the shoe was shaped that to me felt a little bit off, but maybe I'm just nitpicking. Leave your thoughts down below if you see what I see. So with all of that out of the way now, let me toss these on feet, I'll lace them up and I'll show you guys how these look. All in all, like I mentioned, this colorway has a very outdoorsy, very autumn or fall vibe to it. So I can see this being worn a lot with those fall outfits. Personally for me, I have a lot of shoes that kind of fit that criteria of being a fall-based sneaker. So I don't really see this being a must-have for my collection. I know there's a lot of people out there that are loving this colorway. To me, I just feel like it's a little bit bland, and I would probably rock something like the A Ma Maniére Air Jordan 4 over this. So I don't really see the point of keeping both of them in my collection. But if you missed out on the A Ma Manières, or if you're just looking for a colorway of the Jordan 4 that's gonna be easily compatible with a lot of your clothes, I think this is a solid option, and I wouldn't be surprised if these were discounted down the road, because based off of what I see as of right now when I'm filming it, a lot of sizes are still available on most websites. So let me know your thoughts down below. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. You can follow me on my social media accounts. I'll link all of that down below. And as always, thank you for your continued love and support. Another shout out goes out to The Closet Inc. So check them out as well if you're from Canada, and I'll catch all of you in my next review.